Hey guys, I'm here on Friday, January 3rd recording. A little bit late at night. Just got off of work a little while ago. Busy night. And you like the busy nights more than the calm nights because, well, it's kind of 50-50 because the busy nights you lose track of time and then it kind of ends up going by a little bit faster, but on the slower nights it's less work. So it's kind of a trade-off, makes it about the same between both. But hopping into the point here, I'm going to be talking playoffs. Um, I'm mainly going to be discussing tomorrow and Sunday's games. I'm going to drop a video later in the week about like more in depth for the divisional round, and I'll adjust my Super Bowl predictions and championship predictions based on what happens in the wild card round. And I will kind of make predictions on the divisional round once we find out who those teams are going to play. But just hopping in here, first off, I want to say, if you guys get the chance, please subscribe right down below. Just turn your phone straight horizontal and just hit the subscribe. It's all you got to do. The more subscribers I have, it's much easier to get my name out there, to get more people watching, and I wouldn't be begging like this if I didn't have only 23 subscribers. But, that's the grind. Just keep on working, and hopefully one day we get a breakthrough. But you guys are here with me, and I'm going to focus on giving you guys the best content I can. So, to start giving you guys some good content today, I wrote an article 2 days ago with 2020 wildcard predictions and game descriptions on Discuss the Game. It's an app you can get for free. You can look up my username, Your Patriots, same as YouTube. And I've dropped 2 articles, one discussing how the Patriots dynasty can continue past Tom Brady's retirement and why I think it will. And then my 2020 wildcard predictions and game descriptions. So go check that out if you get the chance. If you like reading articles, if that's your thing, go right down there. A lot of them are, it's going to be about 50-50 between summarized portions of my podcast and my YouTube videos, and the other 50% is going to be things that I don't make podcasts about, kind of shorter ideas that you can't make a half-hour long video on. But here we go. We're going to hop into it. So for the first game, obviously we're going to talk about the Patriots and the Texans, as this is a Patriots YouTube page. Now, someday I do really hope to move on from just the Patriots. I'm a Patriots fan, but I do someday hope to move on from just the Patriots and eventually become an entirely NFL I love the username I got on Instagram and this, but I'd have to find a new name, and I would definitely tell you guys in like 20 videos beforehand for every video until if I was going to change my name and if I was going to kind of shift focus to the entirety of the NFL. But if that's going to happen, it's not going to be for a while, so don't worry about it right now. But yeah, so Patriots, the 3rd seed versus the Texans in the 6th seed. My score prediction is Patriots 31, Titans 13. So here's why. So the Patriots head coach, Bill Belichick, I think will find a way to stop Derrick Henry. It's just what I believe. Think about it like this. Over his tenure with the Patriots, he has been able to hold Ryan Tannehill to an 0-6 record in Gillette. In those 6 games, Tannehill has only thrown for 5 touchdowns and has thrown 10 interceptions. It's a 1-to-2 ratio. He's also maintained only a 70 passer rating and 60.9% completion rate and 260 yards per game in Gillette during the Belichick era. So looking at those stats, it's obvious that Belichick has an upper hand when facing Tannehill as it is. One can make the argument about the supporting cast, but there have been a couple games here and there where Tannehill's had a pretty decent team around him, and yet the Patriots have still shut him down. Arguably, though, the most dangerous weapon the Titans offense has at their disposal is Derrick Henry, and that's the thing that a lot of Patriots fans are worried about, because our defense this year has led up some big games to running backs. We let up 136 yards to Joe Mixon, 115 to Mark Ingram, plus 62 by Lamar Jackson, and 131 yards to Nick Chubb. So yeah, I think the big thing in this game about whether or not we're going to win is whether or not we can stop Derrick Henry. And I think that's going to be kind of the decider. And there is an argument that you can make that two teams this year have stopped Derrick Henry. That being the Jaguars, only allowing 44 yards on 17 carries. Not really stopped, more slowed down. And the Broncos stopped with 28 yards on 15 carries, no touchdowns. And in both of those games, Henry averaged less than 3 yards per carry, which I guess you could qualify as neutralizing him as an offensive weapon. And one can assume that if the Broncos and the Jaguars can succeed in stopping him, Belichick can at least slow him down, right? I mean, the Jaguars do not have the greatest coach in NFL history, and neither do the Broncos. So maybe Bill Belichick can at least slow him down. So if you slow down Derrick Henry, somewhat neutralize Ryan Tannehill, that kind of sets you up well defensively. And then really the only other worry is the Patriots offense, just putting up enough points to beat the Titans in the first place. Now, I think they'll rely on the Edelman-Brady connection to end up getting the passing game going, just because I think last week was more of a rest for Edelman than it was really like go out there and get us a bunch of catches. Mainly because I believe they wanted to get the other receivers more into the offense. But yeah, on top of that, I think Sony Michel will get the run game going. Maybe not dominant. I don't think it'll be anything extra. I think it'll be somewhat of what we've seen these last two games, around 20 carries, around 100 yards. I think that this will allow the Patriots to have good field position situations. The defense, what I talked about. It's like if the Titans are at their own 25-yard line and they go 3 and out, they punt it, we could get it around the 35, 40-yard line. But yeah, and that's good field. That's 15 yards less than you normally have to go, which is one less down that you have to convert, which in the Patriots case, we'll take all the downs we can. But yeah, I think it'll help the offense score a few touchdowns. I think they'll get one field goal. And I think there'll be long drives, kind of like we saw with the Chargers last year when we went up 35-7 at half, dominated the Chargers. I think that it'll be somewhat like that, where we have these long drives of 5 yard out, 5 yard slant, 4 yard out, 4 yard slant, the occasional 15-yard pass, and then a bunch of Sony Michel runs and Rex Burkhead runs. But on top of that, I would also expect a special teams or defensive touchdown by the Patriots. I'd call them one of the top 2 defenses in the league. I'd expect them to show up in the playoffs and get a score in the first game against a team like the Titans, who is not really thought of as a dark horse Super Bowl team. So, there's the Patriots for you. The next game here is the Bills and the Texans. The score, I have the Bills losing 17-24. I think it'll be an interesting one. The Bills are my dark horse Super Bowl team. They have the ability to make it all the way. It's not because they have a ton of talent. They're a team of heart. And the disproportion between talent and heart explains why they've won 10 games instead of 16. And the heart, though, is generally why they've won 10 games in the first place. They haven't blown out bad teams. They haven't been blown out by good teams. The majority of their games have been decided by one score, even against teams that a 10-win team should blow out, like the Bengals and the Jets. And they lost to the Browns by 3 at one point, so it's obvious they're not a super talented team that will put up 60 points on a bad team. But they're a team that will come away with a win in the majority of cases, which is why they're in the playoffs. But yeah, the Bills are my dark horse team. The Texans, on the other hand, are a team that has won games due to its talent and lost to its easy loss of heart. In my opinion, the Texans, if they go down by a good amount, I don't think Deshaun Watson will, but I think the rest of the roster can quickly get tapped out of inspiration to play hard. I think the deciding factor between these two teams will be the quarterback position. Josh Allen hasn't started a playoff game. Deshaun Watson has lost the one start, 21-7. So it's kind of unproven. that either quarterback can succeed in the postseason. Of course, I think Deshaun Watson can. I'm not sure about Josh Allen. But I do believe they will both throw an interception due to their lack of playoff experience. But in the end, I think the game will come down to a final drive, and it'll either be in the hands of Deshaun Watson or Josh Allen to end out the game, and one of them will have to score to win it. And I think that Deshaun Watson would be the only quarterback out of the two that could do that. So that's why I have the Bills losing in a one-score game, because I think Deshaun Watson will come through and score in that big moment, and I don't think Josh Allen would. Okay, so the next game here is the Vikings versus the Saints. The 6th seed Vikings versus the 3rd seed Saints. I have the Vikings losing 24-27. Another close game. Nail biter. So when reading the names of the teams that are in the battle for this game or hearing them, one can only lean the game on the shoulders of Kirk Cousins, or look to him to be the one that could lose the game for the Vikings. Over his career, he's been famously known for being unable to perform in big moments, and due to this, I can't really give the Vikings a fair chance at winning it. I do believe Kirk will show up and make it a nail-biter, but I also believe that his inability to perform at the height of the moment will ultimately be the team's downfall. I think Kirk Cousins will throw an interception late in the 4th. I think Drew Brees will show up hungry for a fair shot at the Super Bowl after last year's NFC Championship that we all clearly remember. And I think the defense will also allow Brees to put up points, forcing a fumble on Stephon Diggs early in the 3rd. And with about 7 minutes left in the 4th quarter, Brees will throw a touchdown pass to put the Saints up 27-24, and Kirk Cousins will be unable to respond for the remainder of the game. Dalvin Cook will have a solid game with over 100 yards and a touchdown. Michael Thomas will have a solid game as well, 7 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. I don't see the scoring heating up too much until the 2nd quarter. And I think the majority of the game, again, somewhat like the Patriots against the Chargers, will be long, dragging drives with a lot of runs and a lot of thinking going through that. Because both teams are going to want it. I mean, I'll tell you that. Kirk Cousins is going to want to win. And Drew Brees is going to want to win. It's just how it is. Kirk Cousins wants to prove the people wrong. Drew Brees wants to prove the people wrong and show that the Saints are the best team in the NFL. Last year, you could have argued that they were the best team in the NFL. They didn't make it. This year, you could argue that they're the best team in the NFL, and Drew Brees wants to make it this time. So, in the end, I just don't see Kirk Cousins coming through. He could surprise us all and show us, hey, the Vikings paid good money for this guy, and this is why. But if I had to bet on it, I'm taking Drew Brees. That's the end of it. So the final game of the weekend is the Eagles against the Seahawks. I think this one's a pretty easy one to call. I think the Seahawks will blast their way into the divisional round, firing on all cylinders. And I think they're going to want to make their presence known in the NFL. The Eagles snuck into the playoffs at 9-7. I don't think they deserve to be in the playoffs. And I think the Seahawks will show them that they don't deserve to be there. Without Foles leading the team, I just don't see them overcoming their lack of talent at wide receiver. And I think the Eagles' defense will also constantly be faced with bad field position situations, with the Seahawks having good field goal situations. And I think there will be a handful of field goals in the 4th quarter by the Seahawks, or 1st quarter by the Seahawks. And in the 4th, I think they will begin to attack long because the Eagles' defense is going to get tired. As the Eagles' offense just simply can't get first downs. And once they attack long, they're going to come up with a lot of plays in the 3rd and the 4th. And that's when the scoring is kind of going to go big for the Seahawks. And I think Wentz will throw a touchdown on a pick. And yeah, I don't think he'll play astonishingly bad, but he won't play astonishingly good either. Wilson, on the other hand, is going to make his case for being one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. He's going to throw 3 touchdowns, no picks, He's going to have a great passer rating. Beast mode will go beast mode. I think he'll get 80 yards and a touchdown. I still don't think he's going to go like insane, but I think he'll have a very solid day. But yeah, those are my wild card predictions. So with those said, my current Super Bowl prediction still stands to be the Patriots against the 49ers. I think the Patriots are going to be able to beat the Chiefs once they beat the Titans simply because they did it twice last year. Why can't they do it again this year? And they lost this year, but if you've listened to my other videos, you'll understand my explanation of Belichick might have not tried so hard to win that game because he didn't want to show the Chiefs everything we had. It's like Belichick. I do hate having to go through this every single video I make, but I believe that Belichick he learned from the Super Bowl where we went 16-0. In Week 16, the Patriots beat the Giants 38-35, and it was a complete shootout. Patriots gave them everything they had offensively to look over on film against the Giants' schemes for the Giants. Basically served them a plate of everything they needed to study, even when the Patriots did not need to win that game. And come Super Bowl time, Patriots knew, the Giants knew exactly what the Patriots offense was good at, and they neutralized it, and they found out ways to go against it. And I think Belichick's learned from that. I think he'll come out firing this postseason, and I think he'll make it all the way to the Super Bowl off of it. I think he'll beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I think the defense will have some sort of way to slow down Lamar. And in the NFC, I just don't see the Saints making it all the way past the 49ers. That defense is brutal. That D-line is brutal. I think it's going to beat up on Breeze, and I don't think he's going to be able to throw it a whole ton. I don't think he's going to have a lot of time. I think the running game for the Saints is going to have a good day, but I don't think the passing game will. So that's my current predictions. Again, after Wild Card Weekend, I'll check back in, and if anything changes, I'll let you know. But as of right now, those are my predictions. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.